Is that a lady? Yes, that's 3. You are number 3. Somebody from the India? Oh, number 4. That's from the MBA. And number 5. We take all of it together, then we address whatever issue you raise. Ladies first.
CDHR. My name is Celine. I signed on the existing protocol. I want to pick a word from our mommy. She mentioned inclusiveness. She mentioned non-violent democratic change. I want to ask this house, how inclusive is Nigerian society? How inclusive are we in this democratic change? Think about it. So many people on wheelchairs may not have access to polling booths. So many people who are blind do not have to vote independently. They have to go through proxy. And in some cases, they have complained that they don't trust who is giving them to vote and who they are voting for. I want to ask this house to consider millions of people with disabilities in Nigeria who are not even part of this change. And how do you think they feel and there will be no violence in their hearts, in their spirit, and in their house or whatever they do? There is this law passed by the United Nations, a convention on the right of persons with disabilities. And Nigeria has been demanding since 2003 to pass the bill here in Nigeria. And the government is still on the table of the president, even as I'm talking here now. Please, we want to be part of this process. We want to be joined in this agitation for a change, for a better world, for all of us. Thank you.
CDHR. My name is beko from Mega Unit. I heard Barrister Falano said that the government has no right to force the guard on leave. My question is, if he refuses to go on leave and he is threatened to be killed, what does he do?
Number 3, please come forward. Then number 4 and 5 for you.
CDHR. My name is adeniyi from Ikeja. My question is that I heard it in the news this morning that I question go to the Embassy of America that the Americans didn't want to help us because we did not support homosexual. Is it true?
To my most senior and of course our father in the legal parties, Mr. Femi and of Nigeria. And of course I give my respect to other members of the IT and the very great and respectable members of the audience. Mine is an intervention. And my name is adeniyi. I'm from the MBA in the branch. My intervention actually is more like an advice and an admonishment to all of us. I listened to Mr. Fernandez's essay, and it is something that is already in public domain that we are about, I pray it does not happen, about to witness a very, very terrible dark era again in Nigeria. And that is the truth. We know very well, those ones who follow news, that just yesterday there was a strategic meeting by military in Kaduna. I think 2 days ago. And by yesterday, we read in the news today that soldiers have already surrounded the house or residence of Ashwagola and Tinubu. This information has been actually revealed earlier than now that there may be serious clampdown on politicians, particularly the opposition, members of the opposition, and including members of the civil society. You may not even be a member of civil society when they see your face on TV or on newspaper criticizing the government, you're also a target. So that means we all must now start to actually brace up for the challenges ahead. That we want to also preempt them by serious mass action against the possible violence that people intend to unleash on the hearts of the people. It is important that we don't allow the machinations and, of course, very devilish plans of the government of the day to come to pass. There may be no election. That is the truth. There may be, I'm not saying there will not be. There may be. If we try to nip in the ball, there will be election. But if we keep quiet, there may not be election. And if there is going to be election, it's also important because they have several plans. If plan A fails, they will go to plan B. If plan B fails, they will go to plan C. Several. And that means we must also be moving from one plan to another. If by God's grace, eventually there is election on March 28th, we all must be ready to defend our votes. We must be ready to devise a means of recording every event that happened at the police station. We must be ready to ensure that we wait till the end of the vote count at all polling units that we are part of. Otherwise, if votes will be counted and another result will be announced. So several plans have been devised to actually derail this democracy. And it is left for us to ensure that we disallow it and we discourage it. Thank you very much.
I stand on the existing protocol. I am Honorable Rahim Adeniyi from Agege. First, from what the discussants have earlier been done to the team, it has shown clearly that there is going to be war. That is just what is on ground because of what we have been seeing before now. Yes, that question, because please, I am trying to direct that question to the Consular General of US that the opposition and government in power have signed an agreement that is not going to be violent. But from what they have been doing, we know that it's going to be violent. It should go beyond the signing of the paper because these politicians don't understand and they don't keep the promise. What is the US going to do? In signing it clearly to them, apart from saying we are not going to give you visa if there is anything in Nigeria, please, what is that warning that you want to give to them? Thank you.
Inclusiveness is a two-way thing. While there should be policies in place to include people and strengthen participatory processes, people must also demand and continue to demand that engagement. For instance, in Lagos State, we have made sure that the structure is in place for engagement with government. Before Fashola came into office, as soon as he won, before he settled down and got comfortable, I had a meeting with him and said, look, we must create a system where civil society and people can relate with your government effectively. Give me somebody in your government that we can work with. He gave me somebody called Ronke Aziz. With civil society, we created a program and a structure called Lagos Civil Society Partnership. CDHR is a member of that partnership. And they are supported by DFID. I encourage the Americans to jump in to support that structure where civil society as a group is working at state level, at local government level, to engage with the national, with the federal, the state government. They are engaging with the State House of Assembly. They have just passed the disability law in Lagos State. It is through the activities of LACSOP. It's called LACSOP, Lagos Civil Society Partnership. So it is up to us. The other thing we are doing in Lagos, with the World Bank supporting, is to create stakeholder engagement policies with the MDAs. Within Lagos Water Corporation, for instance, I am the consultant on stakeholder engagement to Lagos Water Corporation, where policies, structures, and activities are in place to make sure that you, the people, can engage. Because we can't talk this rhetoric all the time. Action and the structures and systems must be in place to sustain our democracy. And this is what we're doing. So if you want to learn more about what we're doing in the Water Corporation, please see me after the program. But it is up to us in society to be better organized, to be even more inclusive amongst ourselves, and to be more united amongst ourselves. Because those guys are very united though about where they want to go and how they're going to get there. We need to be better organized to resist. Thank you very much.
Yes, I can confirm that it's a special people's law in Lagos State. There is also a law against disabilities in Lagos State. But if you don't take up your rights, nobody is going to do it for you. Somebody wanted to go to the bank, I think about 2 years ago, was told that he could not access his money in the bank because of his condition. Of course, he left and went to court. He said he wouldn't come to the bank, go to the bank with his clutches. One of my colleagues filed an action for him. He won, and the bank was ordered to allow him anytime he wants to pay money to access his fund. 2, the court awarded 250,000 naira damages against the bank, which was paid instantly. So if you have people with disabilities who have problems, please, and your right is violated, let us know. As Father once said, slap me, make I get money, you know. The other one on Jega, yes, they will try everything. I've known Jega for 25 years. When he was ASU president, he faced a greater threat to his life. He was detained as ASU president by the Babangida junta. But he stood his ground. And at the end of the day, he won. As a matter of fact, when he was ASU president, Babangida enacted a decree that made strike a questionable action in the universities. If you went on strike, it was treason and you could be killed. Of course, ASU was not disturbed. We went to court and defeated the government on that law. So I don't expect that the guy would give in he has issue to contend with. But in attacking the guy, they are attacking all of us. An injury to one is an injury to all. If anybody is doing his work well, we must support him. Whether in government or out of government. The other one, on violence. Well, I'm not going to ask the Americans to help us. They have tried their own bit by saying, we will not allow them to have visas. And you know what it means for any of the members of the ruling class not to go to America. Yeah, you may not appreciate it. Their money is there. They want to go and enjoy their money. And you know, so it's very important. But the more important one, let me inform you. Some of them may end up in the International Criminal Court. The ICC has issued a statement that some of these criminals may end up there. You know what happened in Kenya? The president of Kenya now and his vice president were arraigned before the Hague. He thought after becoming president that would be the end of the matter. The case went on until the case was struck out for want of diligent prosecution. The one of the vice president is still on. The one of President Bago, Laurent Gbagbo of Cote d'Ivoire, he and his wife are standing trial before the Hague for election violence. So the people in Nigeria, they also end up in the Hague. The last one, please, no right is given to anybody as a matter of course. You have to fight for your right. And man, very frightened. I think the family have a history in Uganda. Some of these guys who have no respect for Fela when he was alive, they are using Fela's record to do advertising. Have you seen one of them? But let's leave them with one. Where Fela said, "Animal dog, don't sign again." He said, I beg you, make you hear me very well. Human rights are my property. So therefore, you can't touch me, my property. Thank you.
Unfortunately, I'm not going to sing any fellow Christmas songs. Couple of thoughts for the lady that asked the question, presumably about our position in the Same-Sex Marriage Act. I think there's a fundamental misunderstanding of our position here. The United States has assistance budget in Nigeria at about $650 million, over $500 million. We're a key partner with the Nigerian military. We're a key partner with INEC. We do a lot of stuff across sectors and in all different areas. We have huge business interests here. So to suggest that somehow the Americans are not supporting the American on the other question about violence, I would just point out that, irrespective of people's interpretations about the reasons given for the delay in the vote, the opposition has responded responsibly, and there has been no violence around that. No particular violence around that. So I think that the assumption that there would be war, is not one that I necessarily share. In terms of people who participate in violence, the international community has some moral authority, and we have certainly put that moral authority to as much use as we possibly could. The ambassador's been absolutely indefatigable in trying to get a nonviolence message out. Secretary of State mentioned that people who participate in violence won't be welcome in the United States. And I think that's a recognition that there won't be business as usual as far as the United States is concerned with individuals that do participate in violence. But ultimately, it is a Nigerian responsibility to respond to perpetrators of violence. You have a media, you have a civil society, and you have a court system. You have to use those tools on your own to address those issues. I think Amy has cited a number of examples, and even in the midst of military education, where the boards play a very key role. So I would put that responsibility back on the major people and major institutions.
Thanks so much, President. I want to really express our concern with the way things are going. We've had, this is where we do our own thing. We are very close to the people. We work on the grassroots. We have units and branches in every local government in Nigeria, this organization. We have units and branches in all the states of the Federation. And like you have heard, we have resolved, and I have seen our comrades from other formations here. Yeah, we are all present in this hall, not only CDHR. We are seated here, and we have agreed to go and revive all ourselves, to go and reactivate all ourselves. The word has gone out now. This is the time to protect the interests of our people against those who are oppressing them. You have heard this said, even we have the right to change our oppressors. We have the right to say, let one oppressor go, let another oppressor come. They are now saying they will even allow us to change our oppressors, and we are saying no. So, the word has gone out. Tell others that from this moment on, all the cells become active. And let us organize, let us educate, let us mobilize from house to house. I remember when we were on campus, anytime there's need for action, we wake up 3 a.m. We begin to bang the doors. Oh yeah, we're that day, come out. Within 15 minutes, thousands of students are already battle. So, this is action time. And we are going to engage them. We are going to move ahead of them because they have done it before, so we know their strategy. We have to move ahead of them. I want to thank Living Fire once again, and they have sent me a message through the Public Affairs section under Mr. Hawkins. We have our African tradition that when we invite people to come to our home, we don't allow them to go without tasting something. Even if it is water, we give them. It's our African tradition. Yes. And when I made the point to Public Affairs section, they really tried. They have reached out to Liquid Fire. And Liquid Fire has said that to inform all of you to just be seated. Immediately after this program, we are going to pour libation, the African way. We are going to make sacrifice to the house. No fire. There's no fire. And when you go out, you see those big bombs around everywhere. It is Liquid Fire that is inside it. Thank you. Now I want to call on the chairman of CDHR Lagos State branch to give us a vote of thanks. We are very sorry. We have very limited time. Otherwise, we know we still have so many of our colleagues who are not able to speak here. But I think the thing is, action has started, and action speaks louder than words. Chairman Lagos State, vote of thanks. Arise. We have to continue the defense of man and the center of the CDHR is here, has been made known. CDHR is neither PDP nor APC, but to stand for the total emancipation of oppressed Nigerians from all forms of enslavement.
My happiness is that we have a place where civil society can gather. This is the only civil society organization that have a place like this without hiring. I am pleading with all of you. Whether you have a civil society with your portfolio in loan, please try and identify with us. Today we are the leading light in human rights organization in this country. I want you to know that what my leader Femi Falana has already said, he has called on for action. There are those who don't even have one man, but they can tell you that they are NGOs. Please identify with those that are on ground so that we can move this country forward. Mr. Hawkins, we were in your council the other day over the issue of the legal observation. And we discussed all these issues. Unfortunately, you were not there. But we make a request. CDHR make a request. On behalf of all our organizations to you, please look into them and ensure that we participate effectively in the observation of this election. On behalf of CDHR and the people of Nigeria, I greet you all. Thank you. The Lord bless you.